Mong and Mong, the story of a name and a community. For generations, the Hmong people have carried their identity through their language, clans, traditions, clothing, music, oral history, and memories of migration. Yet one seemingly simple question has created a long and sometimes emotional debate within the community. What should the people be called in English? Hmong, Mong, or Hmong Mong? Among Hmong people from Laos and Southeast Asia are two major linguistic and cultural groups commonly known as Moob Dob, White Hmong, and Moob League, or Mong Leng, Green Blue Hmong. Their languages are closely related, and the communities share much of the same history and culture. But they pronounce the name of their people differently. White Hmong speakers generally say a form represented in English as Mong. Mong Leng speakers generally pronounce it without the initial H sound, producing Mong. For many years, particularly after Hmong refugees resettled in the United States, France, Australia, Canada, and other countries following the wars in Laos, Mong became the internationally familiar English name for the broader community. But not everyone agreed with that practice. Some Hmong Leng scholars, activists, and community members argued that calling everyone Hmong made their own pronunciation and identity, Mong, invisible. To them, the issue was not simply about one letter. It represented language, history, cultural recognition, and the right of a people to call themselves by their own name. Other Hmong leaders and scholars took a different position. They argued that Mong had already developed into an umbrella ethnic name that could include White Hmong, Mong Leng, and other Hmong groups. From this perspective, using one common name helped preserve unity among a people already divided geographically across many countries. The disagreement became especially visible in the United States in the early 2000s. In California, legislation was proposed to encourage schools to teach students about the Hmong experience and their involvement in the secret war in Laos. Hmong activists asked that Mong be included alongside Mong. Supporters of the traditional umbrella usage argued that Mong already represented everyone. The disagreement became so difficult that the legislation ultimately used the broader term Southeast Asians, rather than resolving the Hmong versus Mong question. The controversy demonstrated how powerful a name can become. Over the years, community members and scholars have suggested compromises such as Mong Mong, Mong and Mong, Mong and Mong. Each attempts in a different way to acknowledge both pronunciations while maintaining a common identity. There have also been claims within the community concerning efforts to obtain international or United Nations recognition of the Hmong name. These claims should be distinguished from what can be confirmed through official UN records. The historical evidence clearly shows international advocacy concerning Hmong identity. But the idea that the UN General Assembly formally declared Hmong and Mong together to be the official name of the people requires stronger documentary evidence before it should be stated as historical fact. Today, the question continues to appear in Hmong communities, particularly in the United States and on social media. Some people ask, if I call myself Mong, why should someone else tell me that my official name is Mong? Others respond, we have always understood Mong as the international name for all of us. Why divide one people into two? Both questions reveal something deeper than spelling. The debate concerns identity, representation, language, history, and unity. Hmong and Mong families have lived together, married across communities, worshipped together, celebrated New Year together, mourned together, and shared the experiences of war, displacement, refugee camps, and rebuilding their lives in new countries. A single letter should not erase those shared experiences. At the same time, unity does not require people to forget the pronunciation or cultural identity handed down by their parents and grandparents. Perhaps the most important lesson of the Hmong and Mong debate is that a people's name belongs not merely to governments, dictionaries, organizations, or scholars. It carries the memories and identities of the people themselves. The discussion therefore continues. Mong, Mong, Hmong Mong. Different people may give different answers, but behind all of those spellings stands a community with a shared history stretching across generations. A people continuing to ask how they can preserve their differences while still recognizing that their future is connected.